Hi Pawan. Hi Dhiru. Hi Arvind. Nice to see you too, man. Hi Shivam. Day of Retribution by Infamy. Hey guys, welcome to episode 10, Rock and Talk. Damn. That's a pretty cool song, man. So, thanks for joining, guys. Hi, Varun. Thanks for joining in. Mankind, how you been? What's up? What's up? So, tonight's guest is Aashish Gururaj, Crimson Tits. Alright, so, hi Framing Souls. So, Ashish plays for this band called Infamy. He's a brilliant guitar player. So, without wasting more time, let's bring him in. Well, let's go.
Hey,
Hi,
what's
bro.
up?
What's up, bro?
Yes.
Just give me 2 minutes. How you been?
Everything is fine, man. What about you?
Just give me a moment. I'll just fix this particular. You know what
I'm
that
not
is?
supposed to say what I think it was.
Yeah. The joke is over.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, can you hear me
Just
now?
move back.
Clearly?
Yeah, everything is fine. I hope everyone else can hear us
I
in the
just.
comments. Um,
Can you hear me?
yeah. What about me?
Perfect. Yeah, we all audible. Awesome.
Yeah.
Hi, Nag. Hi, Minibang 69. Cool, man.
Minnie, what's up?
Nice to see you, brother. Thanks for joining in. And let's go ahead and start with a little jam, and then we'll take this forward.
Okay, 1 second. Hopefully the guitar is visible this time. I have to move back a bit.
Yeah, slightly, a little more back. Push this a little more back as well. And I might have to change my settings just a little bit.
Thing is, if I tilt the phone a little more, I won't be able to place it. So this is the best I can do.
That's fine. That's fine.
Do you want me to increase the volume?
Sounds good, bro. Just a moment. I'll put up my setup.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Let's go. Right, killer stuff. I think I'll have to again change my setup because you might hear echo because I'm put on my microphone here with the iRig. So just give me a
I
moment.
can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear yourself twice now?
No, it's cool. It's fine,
All
it's
cool?
fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. All right. Cool.
Hey, Shai, what's up? I can kind of hear my voice now. Yes.
Yes. So I'll just give me a minute.
Shai, I don't know which Axe effects, but right now I don't have the cash for anything. So if you're going to sponsor it, then yeah, no problem.
I think we're cool now.
Yeah, it sounds fine to me.
All right, cool. Can you hear me?
Yeah, everything's clear.
Perfect. All right, bro. So, okay, cool. Thanks for joining in, guys. Awesome. Feels really good, man. Okay, great. So, brother, let's go back and let's talk about your story. How did it all begin from the very beginning? It does.
Wait, how I became a guitarist? Because it
Yes.
wasn't clear to me. Well, I decided to pick up the guitar because there's no one else to do it. I actually started off playing drums, and
Oh.
I had a completely crappy kit. You know, it was even worse than those Chowdhury kits that you would get for 7K. So I started with those. I started with those, and then I beat the shit out of those drums, and then basically I didn't find anyone to play the kind of music I was interested in. So like
Yes.
Maiden, Priest, Metallica, and I would post I would put up posts on the Bangalore bands group looking for members, but then they would send me a message saying they wanted to play Nirvana or Lamb of God, and I was just wasn't into that. And at one point I decided to start doing this myself. So yeah,
So cool.
back
Yeah, you
like
mentioned.
13, I think. Yeah.
So you were 13 by then when you
No, no.
were
I mean, I
into
picked up
drums.
the guitar. I picked up the acoustic in
Okay.
2013.
Oh, 2013. Just been 7 years, and that's a pretty
Yeah.
much. That's a pretty good improvement, bro. Killer stuff.
And,
Yeah. And so drums was your first instrument that you picked up, isn't it?
no, the first one was keyboard, but then I would play
Keyboards.
that like Carnatic. I started with Carnatic music.
Oh.
I don't remember
And,
one note, but I started with that. Wasn't my you can't headbang to varnas and kirtanas and stuff, so I ditched that. And
yeah.
so I needed something, something to just make a ruckus with. So drums seemed the I actually wanted to form a band with a childhood friend. Since he was already on guitars, we had to look for a drummer, and then I decided to do it myself. So yeah, that's
Oh.
how. I mean, I could. I'd say drums was the main thing that got me into metal.
Yeah. Cool. When I was a kid, I was into drums as well, but I didn't have a kid. I was just really small, so. And the first love was drums, back in the time. There's
Yeah, it's
something
because
about
you get
drums.
to beat the hell out of something. That's when.
Yeah. Cool. So this was back in which place? Where were you? This was in
I
Bangalore or
was here.
somewhere else?
Was in Bangalore itself.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
All right, awesome.
all of this
So,
was in.
okay. And and why the guitars? I mean, how did you shift your mind into guitars then?
I mean,
Because
the thing is, my sister she wanted to join guitar classes, right? And guitar classes for everyone who knows, if you go there for long enough, they'll start teaching you stuff like happy birthday and stuff, which is point.
yes,
Understandably, she quit because it's bullshit. And pardon my language. You told me not to swear. I won't do it.
it's all right.
So
It's all
anyway,
right.
I picked up I started using the acoustic. It was originally for her, but she didn't play it, and I ended up playing the acoustic. So that's how it started. And then I borrowed my friend's electric guitar, and then once I was able to convince my mom to get me my cousin to get me a guitar, I got my first one, which is an Ibanez GRX 55, uh, the
Right.
GO series, an entry level guitar.
Do you have that right now with you?
Yeah, in fact, this is what I used on the EP. So
Oh, cool. Right. What's the model name you say?
Ibanez GRX 55B, B as in black. So yeah,
Okay.
I got this for like 12K. Like I had to choose between this and a Cort, but I'm not a fan of the Cort electric guitars. They have some great acoustics though. So yeah, I picked
Right.
this one up.
Cool stuff. And what are the guitars that you have right now?
Well, apart from the acoustic I mentioned, I have the Ibanez that I just showed you, and the one I'm using now, which is a Harley Benton single cut Les Paul shape. So it's the model name is it's a Harley Benton SC 500 or WH. So that's white. Yeah,
Oh, that's a sweet guitar, man. Yeah. It has those golden things in between, is it?
yeah. I mean, you see these on the Gibson and the Edwards Les Pauls as well. So it's I think they've
Right.
copied that. And so yeah, even the finishing, everything is more or less the same. Obviously, the quality, there's a big difference. So these pickups are, I think Wilkinson pickups, if I'm not wrong. So yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, I think it's easily the best brand for bang for buck kind of guitar. If you're looking for something in the entry range, whatever that may be for you. So if you're looking for something in the $200 to $300 range, then yeah, this I don't think anything else beats this.
Right, it looks sweet, man. That's a pretty good guitar, actually. And tell us about that guitar a little more. Does it have a thick neck or a thin neck, or how is it?
I have I'm really bad with the guitar specs, so but it's actually quite thin. 22 frets as you would expect, Wilkinson pickups. Yeah, so the thing with these guys at Harley Benton is that they make sure that basics are solid. So like the wood, the I guess the electronics, the playability and stuff, but they compromise on the like the tuners, the knobs, the stuff like that, just to cut costs because they don't really have a lot of advertising and stuff. So, but if you set it up and you upgrade it, if you want to make, you can make small upgrades and then set it up correctly for even a pro gigging musician to use it as a backup. So
Right.
I've I've read a lot of good reviews by a lot of gigging musicians online as well. So they seem to say the same thing.
Cool. So that guitar looks pretty new, by the way. When did you get that?
I got this last year. Yeah, it's been 1 year.
Yeah, nice. Nice, cool. Let's talk about your projects, bro. Apart from Infamy, have you been working on any other projects as well?
No, Infamy is the only one I'm involved in because I'm too lazy to do anything else. and and the one thing I realize is in this scene, if you're involved in more than two bands, there's no way out because I know guys who've been in like 5, 6 bands, they don't get anywhere. So it's a lot of work, and it's just it makes things a lot more much more difficult. But yeah, so musically, Infamy is the only thing I'm involved in. But I'm also working on a heavy metal blog that will be up in September. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You were telling me about that
So
when I
these are
approached
the
you for
main
the
people.
first time. Yes. Nice. Well said, bro. So let's talk about Infamy. How did this happen? I mean, how did you go ahead with this?
Well, in 2015, I think I could be at 2015. I remember reading a post. I mean, I was busy posting. I kept putting up posts on the Bangalore bands page, hoping something would click. I remember finding a post by someone called Vivek. He put a post saying he was a bass player looking for a band that played stuff like Metallica, Exodus, Testament, Megadeth and stuff. And
Right.
it's so yeah. I mean, so I hit him up saying I listen to the same stuff, but I also wanted to include Maiden, Priest, Whitesnake, Scorpions, stuff like that. So and we started jamming. We got Nehal Shastri and Govind Narayan as well within the next 6 months. Same, all of them
Nice.
were on Facebook, same group. And yes, we had our first real lineup in 2016, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after that, we go. I mean, he had to quit the band. Vivek had to quit the band, so it was just the three of us, me, Nehal, and Govind, and that's the lineup you see on the EP as well. So yeah.
I see. Okay. Cool. So, Day of Retribution was the first single that you came up with, is it?
That was the only single we released, but that was the last song that we did for the EP.
Okay. So, so Age of Deceit, how did this happen? And
Well, I mean, as far as I remember, I was into a lot of conspiracy stuff, a lot of,
yes, yes,
it all starts with 9/11. So 9/11, who killed JFK, the reptilians,
yes.
all that stuff. And I was heavily into that. And I can, a lot of people distance themselves from me, and rightly so, because that's all I could talk about at that point. So, I
Mhm.
mean, I didn't want to, that's all I could talk about, that's all I was reading about, and that's what ended up on the record. So, I stole the title from a documentary of the same, and so there's a documentary called Age of Deceit, The Fallen Angels or something, I don't remember. But
Okay.
I didn't watch the documentary, but I thought that would be a cool name, and I picked it up.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's basically about conspiracies, different conspiracies, most of them for Day of Retribution.
Cool. I contacted J-House once to get one of the album. So, well, I mean, one of the copy out of the album. But again, uh, he kind of gave
Yeah,
me your number, and like somehow we tried to,
yeah.
but you know,
I didn't have the CD with me when I met you at Reynolds. I think we went for that guitar
Yes,
work. I
yes,
forgot.
Nikhil's guitar workshop.
Yeah. I
Cool.
still have CDs though,
So,
but obviously because of the lockdown, I can't send it out. So yeah, anyone who's ordered it, I haven't. I've kept it aside. You know, so I'll send it over when possible. So yeah.
yeah, keep one for me as well. I've been wanting that. I mean, even though it's in
Yeah,
Spotify, but
Sudarshan has
it's
a
nice
few.
to
I
have
have a
one.
few copies, but yeah, yeah, I've kept one aside.
Right, and let's talk about the new lineup of Infamy.
All right. Well, Nehal is who did the vocals on Age of Deception and Day of Retribution. So he left the band to. He went to the US, for studies, and Govind went back to Chennai. That's where he's from. So he had to go back. And
Right.
so it was basically just me, and then I knew I had to start looking for a totally different lineup. So I contacted Jehosh because I'd contacted him. I mean, we spoke earlier about something, I don't remember, and he mentioned that, he'd like to jam and stuff. And I
Hmm.
didn't really take it that seriously at that point because I didn't see anything happening. And then I contacted him, and then he told me he would get these guys. So I actually didn't know Sudarshan, Mario, or Shreyas. He knew these guys from way back. And so yeah,
Right.
so it's me, Jehosh is on bass, of course. Sudarshan Mankad, who plays for. I mean, you had him, on the first episode. So he,
Yes. Yes.
so he he plays for. I mean, I don't know if Human Broth is still active, but he used to play for Human Broth.
Yes.
He had his own project, Moral Collapse. I mean, along with what's Arun from Eccentric Bedlam and his Tachyon Medulla, I think, the other
Yes.
projects. So yeah, so he joined us. So we have an extra layer of guitars, which means we have a lot more to work with. Um, the same thing goes for Mario Jackson from Renegade on vocals because his range is, he can nail Iced Earth, Judas Priest,
Oh,
Defenders, if Painkillers type stuff. So we have a lot of, I don't know, room to experiment with at this point. And of course, Shreyas Kamath from Trinity, which is
yes.
now. So yeah, so it's a five-piece now. We went from being a three-piece to a five-piece band.
Nice. I remember Shreyas Kamath from Trinity. I've been to Humming Tree once where they played along with Vidyut and Albatross, I guess.
Oh
Trinity
yeah,
was live that night. It was pretty kick-ass, by the way. And yeah, that's how we
oh
know
yeah. I went
from
for the same
each
gig. Was
other.
it a humming gig?
Humming Tree, yes, Indranagar.
Oh yeah, I went for that gig. I remember
Yeah,
Trinity.
yeah, cool. And bro, I really love the album actually. I really love the riffs and the chunks. Pretty cool actually. All
Thanks a lot.
the it's that it gives that heavy vibe, that's pretty cool actually. Awesome. I was listening to it the whole day, and when it came on and I found it on Spotify,
Yeah,
oh, I gotta listen to this. Shadow on
it's
as well.
awesome. I'm glad to hear.
So yeah, cool. So bro, let's go ahead. Could you play us a couple of your favorites from the EP?
Favorite riffs?
Yeah, favorite riffs or any solos, anything.
Yeah, okay. I mean, let's see. One
Yeah,
of the
the
most.
solos would cut through. Solos would cut through easily. But, more than. But if you want to go ahead for riffs as well, go ahead, please.
Let's go for the riffs for now. Hold on one second. Let me just get this thing.
Yeah,
Thing is, my chair is really low, so I can't really do much. This is all you can see.
that's okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So yeah, I'd
Yeah,
start
cool.
with the worst riff of Day of Retribution. So then I guess even the chorus as well because it reminds me of Symphony of Destruction. So
Yeah,
I mean, that's from their retribution. If I had to choose something else, I'd say Smoking Gun, the worst riff.
Yes. Pretty cool. Bro, it sounded amazing actually. And people who are to all the viewers, I think if you're putting on headphones or earphones, it's actually audible than most of the episodes we had. I don't know. Pretty good actually. Awesome, awesome, bro. I love the moves. You know. All right, let's talk about a little more about guitars. Do you have any specific guitars that you find really interesting
Oh,
these days?
where do I start?
There's
uh,
a list, I know.
that's what I've been doing during the lockdown. I've been like online window shopping. Every day it's a
Right.
new guitar. I was actually thinking about about a new setup and stuff. I posted something. Uh, I put up a post, I think, just a couple of days back, asking for recommendations, for I think a processor or something. So yeah, I was thinking of
Yes, yes.
getting a Schecter. I mean, I had my eyes on a Schecter Sun Valley Super Strat. So that's one. The other one is also, I think, a Schecter Flying V I might do because Flying V's are really hard to play, but it looks kick-ass, and I think high time I get used to it. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
straight from middle.
those
Yeah.
two. So it's that cherry red Floyd Rose with the Famy, of course. It's a Flying V. So yeah, there's something about playing a Flying V. I don't know what it is. When you're standing up and playing, once you use it, of course, it says it looks kick-ass, and especially that guitar, it's like cherry red. It looks absolutely fucking beastly. So yeah,
Yes, yes.
so those two,
Oh,
Schecter, the Sun Valley Super Strat, and the Flying V.
awesome, bro. It's nice. Nice plans, actually. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think back in Exodus, Gary Holt had a Flying V.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, he had.
exactly.
This part of there was one guitar. I remember this whole part was kind of pretty. There was chrome finish, and it was like a mirror on this, and you could see the
I
audience
am
right
not.
into that.
I don't remember, but recently I remember seeing one of the recent Slayer videos. Was it
Right.
Repentless? I don't know. He had a Les Paul shaped guitar, that red one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh
so
yeah.
that looked insane.
Black and
So
red. Yeah, that was
yeah,
insane. The pickups were
that's the kind of color
also
I'm talking
red.
about for the Schecter.
Oh, nice. Killer. Right, so let's talk about your composition structure and what's going on in your head. Like, are you guys? Are you the person who goes first, coming up with some primary riffs or anything like that, or there is someone else in the band who does the same and then comes together in the jam?
No, I mean it's I wrote all the riffs for the entire
Oh,
record because I
nice.
was the only guitar player before. I mean, Sudarshan joined now, right? He
Oh,
joined after the tracks were mastered. I think after they were
oh,
mixed.
okay.
So yeah, so right now it's on the EP I wrote literally all the riffs. Right now I have a lot of songs in the pipeline, same
Mhm.
procedure, but because of the lockdown, Sudarshan and I couldn't actually get together to write. So yeah, we're going to start doing that as well because we have a new guitar player, so we have to change our approach as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think for
yeah,
the
yeah.
new record, it'll be a little more like collaborative. It won't be just me. So
And on top of that, he's an insane guitar player.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if he doesn't play the solo, then there's no point,
Right.
of having him if you're not going to get him to do stuff. So yeah, he's gonna. I've handed like the riffs. I sent him a few songs recently. I think like 4 demos. So he's going to handle most of the solos on that so far. So, but if he has riffs in the pipeline, then we'll start working on it. But then we'd have to do that together. It's hard for us to send it, and then you know, it's we'll have to actually jam together for that to happen.
Right. So tell us about the solos. Who did the solos in the EP? The album?
I did all the solos.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so it's like uh, it's the same thing. I mean, there was no other guitar player, right? We couldn't get anyone else to play. So I had to kind of learn how to play leads. So I ripped off a lot of Mustaine type licks.
Mhm.
And I know like three, four licks, but I can, mix it up and, basically milk them to get you 20 solos. And that's basically what you can find on the EP. It's the same notes, same licks, slightly different, patterns, I guess, nothing else.
Cool. Could you play us some couple of your favorite licks?
Yeah, that's it. Okay, this one is from Hellfire. So I'll just turn this around once again.
Yes.
Just one second.
Sure.
Oh, I forgot how to play it, but it goes there.
Works. Yeah. Cool.
I haven't played this in a while. That's one of them. It's fun to play live as well.
Cool. So, yeah, going ahead, uh, could you recommend everybody a couple of albums that they need to listen to?
What, Indian albums or general?
Any of the albums that you've been inspired with, or something that you think people should listen to before they call it a life?
Oh, I mean, I'm trying to think of something aside from, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, that stuff. Uh,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like into old school heavy metal, then you should probably get into the latest Accept albums, Blood of the Nation,
Yeah.
Stalingrad, Blind Rage, stuff like those albums. Actually, those three albums influenced this record, to be honest.
Right.
So, not just musically, but even in terms of production, because Andy Sneap handled the production on those albums. So it's really robust. It has a really uh, even the latest Priest record, Andy Sneap did that. So it's a really muscular, modern guitar tone. But when you play old school stuff with a tone like that, just, I don't know, it sounds insane. So that was what we were looking for even on the EP. So yeah, I mean, I'd suggest Blood of the Nations and Stalingrad by Accept.
Cool. Thank you so much. All right. Let's talk about your. So we talked about the guitars. Let's talk about the gears down there on the floor. What do you have down there?
Well, right now I'm using VST plugins. So I'm using Bias Effects. That's what we used even on the record. So we used Bias Effects, and so yeah, that's my go-to thing now. I just turn on the Mark II C plus amplifier on Bias Effects. I have a preset already, so I just add a distortion or an overdrive depending on what I want. Some reverb and that's it, nothing else. So that's my go-to tone. But for live, I recently got a Zoom G3N and a Moore Radar Cab Simulator. So yeah, I've been working with some tones right now. So in the jam room, it sounds great. So yeah, I mean, when we get a chance to go live, I'm going to crank this up. Yeah, so the Zoom G3N and the Moore Radar Cab.
So, any new bands or any kind of artists that you missed from back in the times, from the previous century or back in the time? Are you been have you been listening to those kind of bands recently,
What kind of bands?
like from the 60s, 70s, or any new bands that's up here?
I mean, Peter Green died from Fleetwood Mac, so I've been listening to that. But apart from that, every once in a while I go back to Ted Nugent. I mean, damn good guitar playing. Ted
Yeah,
Nugent. I've been listening to a lot of Thin Lizzy because I've always been a big fan. So Thin Lizzy, UFO, all of them 70s bands. Um, Elvis, funnily enough, I've started listening to Elvis again. Elvis, what
right,
else? Eric Clapton.
Right.
Cream. But yeah, but I balance that out with. It's weird, I listen to that stuff, then I listen to Maiden, Priest, and then I listen to Maroon 5. I just mix everything in.
Yeah, cool.
Backstreet
You
Boys,
just yeah, it just reminded me of.
Can't really hear anything.
All right, just a moment. Right, just a moment.
There's delay. Cat scratch fever. Yeah, you did a cover, right? I think you covered the solo. Was that you or someone else?
Yeah, that was me. That was me.
I have to learn that solo.
Yeah, that's pretty cool actually. Let's talk about that solo, shall we?
More than the
Yeah.
solo, by the way, I'm hearing myself twice.
I'm sorry?
I'm hearing myself twice.
Yeah, because I'm in the setup now.
Yeah.
Just a moment. Right, just give me a moment. I'll just get my setup changed. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, so the Cat Scratch Fever solo is pretty cool, actually. I mean, he talks about if you want to be a guitarist, you gotta have that attitude, and he's pretty good in explaining things like that, actually. Cat Nugent, yeah.
Yeah, more than the solos, I mean, I like I don't know, his playing has a certain venom to it.
Yeah. Right, right.
It's like even if he bends one note, it's just it's going to sting you. It's not just the number of notes he plays or whatever. It has his vibrato, his tone, everything. It's the same thing I can say about Gary Moore, John Sykes, Doug Ulrich, all these guys. Just the way their vibrato is just another level, and that's kind of what I'm trying to emulate. But of course, I'm like 10 light years behind. So,
Cool. I mean, yeah, Ted Nugent has been an inspiration. It was I figured it out because Pantera did a cover of Cat Scratch Fever, and that was one friend of mine in college days. He used to tell me, "Dude, gotta listen to Cat Scratch Fever. Though. There's one song, Cat Scratch
Motorhead
Fever."
covered it, right?
Yeah, Motorhead did. I think
Pantera also.
maybe Pantera did as well. Yes. Right. Cool. Right. Tell us about your future plans on your project, Infamy.
I don't know, man. Everything is now
Right.
it's completely up in the air. But
Yeah.
I guess I don't think there's going to be gigs for the next 1.5, 2 years. Right?
Yeah.
So anyone who says it's going to be okay in 6 months, they're kidding themselves. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, once things open up, we want to get on stage as soon as possible because we couldn't do an album launch, which is what
Oh.
which is what I was upset about. But that's the first thing. So we have to get on stage as soon as things open up. Apart from that, I know this scene isn't going anywhere. All right, it's just going to be the same 50 people who keep attending. So we're looking at other countries. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm trying to make it work. So I'm going to Europe over the next 5 years. Hopefully, that'll work out. So that's in the works. Let's see. But apart from that, we will have a new record out, full length album, probably 8 songs.
Cool.
So yeah.
So apart from all these times that we're going through, are you still writing a couple of new stuffs?
Yeah. I mean, I have how many? I think I have another 12 or 13 demos ready, more or less. So we have to just see what
Nice.
works with people. So the thing is, they're all different stylistically. Some of them are really rock and roll, some of them are heavy. So I'm trying to see what works best for the current lineup, and then use the rest, for the next release. So yeah, if I can get to like 16 tracks, then we'll have 2 albums. Let's see if that works.
Yeah. 12 demo stuffs are pretty. I mean, that's a lot of demos right there you have with you. You can still, you can always find something around it, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to do anyways at this
Yeah.
point. So it's either this or certain websites I'm not allowed to mention right now. So it's only those two things.
Right. So, so tell us about your mindset on stage, and if you would like to give a message to the beginners.
First of all, I'd say don't listen to me because I am a beginner. But but aside from that, I mean, I remember the only thing I was worried about on stage was just dropping my pick. That's the only thing I
Right.
was worried about. I wasn't worried about messing up or whatever, because whenever we did, I mean, we would make small mistakes here and there, but we would never make a big deal about it. So that's what I would, suggest. If you make a mistake, just continue. You don't, you can turn it into a joke of some sort, but if you make a big deal about it, then the audience is going to know, and they really don't care, if you make a mistake, because they don't know your songs. They're not
Yeah.
looking for 100% perfect performances, but you do have to be lively. If you're going up on stage with like Crocs and chappals and stuff, I mean, shorts and stuff, the way a lot of these bands do, then you're in trouble. So yeah, the music is just as important as the way you present yourself on stage. So that's bare minimum.
That's it, bro. I mean, yeah, actually, they don't care. And for example, there was one time when I dropped my pick, and I remember, I think Anirudh is right here. He's in the viewers list. He took out a pick out of his pocket and gave it to me on stage.
Yeah.
He was on the first row, and I took that and played the whole show with that. It happens,
Sort
right?
of.
Sometimes.
It happens. I've dropped it many times. I've dropped it during Black Sabbath song, Into the Void. So I had to, and it was a song everybody knew, so I had to like. Then I realized, I mean, Tony Iommi didn't have a finger. Like he lost half a finger, and he was able to do it. So I played it like a bass player for like 10 seconds. So yeah, I mean, but we don't make a big deal about it. That's the main thing. Just continue where you left off.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about the EP. We have Age of Deceit, Day of Retribution, Fell Freedom, Hellfire, Age of Deception, and Smoking Gun. Could you just
Yeah.
shortly brief them up for us? What does all this song mean to you, and how did it inspire you? Just come out from its place.
As in what each song is about, like a backstory.
Yes, yes,
Okay. Well, Hellfire was what? I wanted an opener that was in the vein of the latest Accept albums, like I mentioned. So, if you listen to those albums, you'll know, all the opening tracks are fast, they're in your face. There's a lot of like rumbling bass. The riffs are really sharp. So that was the kind of, I needed a chaotic opener, basically. And so, yeah, that's what Hellfire is musically, but lyrically, I guess it's a mix of. I used to play Call of Duty Black Ops a lot, like a lot of you guys. So there's a mission, the second mission in that called Wakuta, which is a Russian, I think it's a prison. You have to break out of that prison. That's what it's about. So it's that and the TV show Prison Break. So it was a mix of the two.
right.
So, yeah. So that's what Hellfire is about. Fatal Freedom is our tribute to Lemmy from Motorhead. It's your typical classic rock, heavy metal song, that cheesy stuff, break free from the shackles of the system, that kind of stuff. I think that's why it's called Fatal. So that's our tribute to Motorhead. Uh,
Right.
it has a really British feel to it. So you can it's Motorhead plus like deal with the devil type Judas Priest. So that's basically what Fatal Freedom is. What else? Also has some glam influence. There's I'm a big fan of Motley Crue, Winger, Rat, Warrant. Uh, so it has a lot of glam as well. And yeah, so that's Fatal Freedom. Age of Deception is it's about, again, I mentioned conspiracy theories earlier. So this is
Yes,
based on a
yes.
theory. So this is based on the Bermuda Triangle, and there's an entire book about this written by an author called Charles Bullets. So
Right.
there's a famous incident in that book that he talks about, and this is just a recreation of that incident about the Bermuda Triangle. So that's what Age of Deception is about. Day of Retribution is about a mass shooting that happened in 2014. I mean, in the US, every 2 days you have a mass shooting, but this one was one of the first ones I paid attention to, I think 6 years ago. So the dude was like, what, our age, more or less, in his 20s. He ended up shooting a few people. And his name was Elliot Roger, and that's what it's about. It's about the incident, whatever took place on that day. And he would make videos about this stuff, about his life and how lonely he was. And he mentioned the last video. In his last video, he mentioned the term Day of Retribution. So I stole the title from that video.
Cool.
And Smoking Gun is another. Smoking Gun was the first song I ever wrote that made it on the record. Uh,
Oh, is it?
yeah, so that's also conspiracy based. It's based on a book called Transformation of America. So trans meaning TRANCE hyphen formation, Transformation of America. And that book was written by a mind controlled sex slave who was part of the MK Ultra project. So that's some really scandalous shit. I mean, but
Yes, yes.
it's disturbing stuff. But yeah, I remember reading that a lot, and then that's all I could think about. So yeah, that's Smoking Gun.
Yeah, I checked out your artwork, and I mean, it speaks out for itself. I mean, there's a lot of this conspiracy thing involved. It looks like that, that those guys with those reptilian tongue, and these guys are slightly scary, dude. Isn't? But like, yeah, pretty cool actually. I just kept watching that particular album and album art, and okay, cool. That's something right there, and it has a lot of details in between as well. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was important for us to come up with something specific because a lot of heavy metal bands, even thrash metal bands, they keep talking about like anti-political, screw the government, screw this, screw that. But it's nothing new. I mean, yeah, we already know what thrash is about. There's nothing particular, there's nothing specific, you know. So it sounds really preachy when a lot of thrash bands do it. It's the same with heavy metal also. Like classic heavy metal is basically, think for yourself, do whatever you want. That's basically it. But I
Yes,
got sick of listening to the same thing again and again. So I wanted a particular theme for this record. And I think we managed to do that.
cool, brother. We're almost done with this particular session, but before we go, let's jam a little bit and just and say goodbye to everyone.
Yeah, sure.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Yes, that was beautiful, bro. Cool, bro. Now you can hear me again. Can you?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Awesome. Well, it was nice having you. We
Yeah,
had a great
absolutely.
time. I personally had a great time talking to you regarding your album and as you told about your inspirations and how you got into from keyboards to drums and then the guitars and how it, the whole thing. Yeah, good shit actually. Yes, it was. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
really
it's
nice
awesome.
to
I
see that.
mean,
Thank you so
been
much.
had been fun. I mean, eh, most people aren't doing this stuff anyways. I mean, of course, we have the BOA guys doing live, but apart from that, only you're doing it. So yeah, I mean, keep it up. It's fun. It's been good so
Thank
far.
you so much. Thank you so much. So to all the viewers out there, I'll let you know who the next guest is. Till then, stay safe. And brother, you want to say some last words to the viewers out there?
Yeah, pick up all the CDs because I really need cash.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Yeah, keep one for me as well. I would like to have one of those copies.
Yeah.
And yeah,
No
definitely, I'll
lockdown
recommend.
discount.
Yeah,
All right.
cool.
Awesome.
So yeah, once the time is slightly more flexible, we can definitely. I'll definitely reach out to you and get one of those. Keep it in my
Yeah, for sure.
collection. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. It was lovely having you. And good night to everyone, and good night to you as well, bro.
See ya.
See ya.